Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy TRUEDBZK back with another video, and today, welcome to another Krillin guide. So I know it's been a while since I've done this type of live guide type of thing. Usually I just upload the guide with notes and stuff explaining, you know, what to do and how to do it and stuff. But I thought today I'd actually come onto the mic and do this new Krillin guide. So yeah, the main focus of today's guide is talking about Krillin's 236H, or his heavy after image. So this move has gotten a couple of changes over the last couple patches. So originally, after image was, or it still is, a mix-up tool. A couple patches ago, it was like this current version right here. You would basically use it for same-side mix-ups. You know, you would use this for the overhead, fake it out into a low, or fake into a Dragon Rush type of thing. Well, a couple patches ago, they actually changed it to where Krillin can actually go behind the opponent. But the thing about that is in the last patch is that we couldn't choose whether or not we could, you know, go in front or go behind. So all the mix-ups basically turned into left-right instead of high-lows. Well, now, in the current patch 1.32, Krillin has the option of staying the same side or going on the other side. So this basically gives Krillin all the options from both the previous patches and the very last patch we've gotten. So I figured with the amount of changes given to After Image that I would kind of combine all of them into one big guide. The After Image, I guess the After Image part in my specials guide that I did, honestly, probably a year, maybe a year or two ago. It's still relevant because it still goes over the high-low mix-ups that you can do. But I feel like with the amount of changes that this move has gotten over the past couple patches, that'd be good to do an updated guide on this move in particular. So today I'll be covering the high-low aspects of this move. So talking about the overhead, the fake into low, you know, stuff like that. After that, I'll talk about the left-right applications. So same side, and then on the other side, and yeah. It's gonna be basically a combination of the two mix-ups into one giant video. So, let's jump right into it. Alright, so starting off with the Blockstring or setup to this mix-up. So here I have Android 16 and Base Goku. So the reason why I have these two is because these two are pretty good examples for what you need to look for when doing this mix-up mid-screen, and I'm talking about his high-low mix-ups. So every assist has a certain amount of pushback. So as you can see, whenever Tien blocks an assist, he moves backward just a little bit or a lot depending on the assist. And depending on your assist is how your mix-up changes, at least mid-screen. Now in the corner it doesn't really matter. All that matters in the corner is blocks done and the speed. But mid-screen, speed also matters, but it really does matter on the pushback of the assist. So what I have here is a pretty consistent block string that you can use with pretty much every assist, but you might want to change it depending on what your assist pushback is. So the first block string I have here is light normals, 2L, 5LL, pretty standard. And then you want to go into 5M into Solar Flare. So with this block string, it keeps Krillin close to the opponent. As you can see, Krillin is not that far from Tien. So that's your first block string. Your second block string is the exact same, but you do 2M. And with 2M, it actually pushes Tien back. So, as you can see, it pushes them back. So for assists like Android 16, who has very little pushback, you want to use the 2M version. That way it gives you enough reach for you to do your high-low mix-ups. But with assists like Base Goku, who has a lot of pushback, you want to use 5M so you can get the exact same result. So once again, all this depends on the pushback of your assist and also the speed, because the timing does change things a little bit, but not too much. But the pushback is what you really need to look out for when it comes to mid-screen. Once again, in the corner, it doesn't really matter. All that really matters in the corner, at least for high-low mix-ups, is the block stun and the speed. Because base Goku has a lot of block stun, you can really get away with, you know, a lot more mix-ups because of the block stun. Whereas 16 has a good amount of block stun. Like Krillin A, you know, the rock assist, his assist doesn't have a lot of block stun, so it's not really that good for high lows, considering, you know, there is a fair bit of recovery when it comes to Krillin after image, especially the regular version. So you want to have a good amount of block stun for at least for the corner mix-ups. So yeah. Alright, so now we're going to be going on to the different options that are available to you when doing this mix-up. So for high-low, the first one you have is TK after image, which is basically the air after image, but doing it as low to the ground as possible. So here is the regular version here. Is the regular version. And then this is the TK version. Sorry about that. So as you can see, Krillin is a lot faster, and he's more plus when he does this version of the move. So if you want to do it in a Blockstring like this, that's a 21 frame overhead, that's +7 on block. So yeah, that's a really good mix-up. So this is an overhead attack. You know, as you can see here, if I set Tian to crouch and to have him not switch, and you see it is an overhead, and because you're using the heavy version, since you're using a heavy version, you can combo afterwards with Vanish, or with Sparking. Now you can also combo with Assist as well, but with these two assists in particular, I can't really do it mid-screen because the timing is a little bit off. But, you know, in the corner, you can use it. Goku's actually pretty slow. There you go. So if you're in the corner, it's a lot easier to combo. But mid-screen, you might need like a beam or maybe a ball assist like Kefla to combo off of it. But you have the option. So that is the first option, which is jumping after image. Alright, so the next mix-up we have is basically the same route with TK after image, but this time you want to fake it out and go for a low. So for an example like this, as you can see there. So as you can see there, that's a really, really hard mix-up to block, considering the fact that Krillin's 2L is 7 frames. So yeah, this mix-up is pretty nasty. It's really, really good in the corner, once again, because you don't have to worry about pushback. Oops. So you don't have to worry about pushback. So you can go immediately into the 2L. Mid-screen though, you know, it varies depending on your assist. But for assists like Android 16, who doesn't have a lot of pushback, you can do it pretty reliably. Oh, that was the wrong version. You can also do it the regular way. So the regular way would be just be regular after image into low. That's still a really good option as well. It's a lot easier than doing the TK route, but if you do the TK route, it's a lot more ambiguous whether or not, you know, you're going to go high or low. Sorry about that. So in the corner, I would recommend probably doing the TK version because, you know, you don't have to worry about pushback. Mid-screen, I'd probably recommend doing the regular version, which is, you know, like this. So mid-screen, I would recommend doing the regular version, but if you're in the corner, I'd recommend doing the TK version because, you know, it's a lot faster, basically. You can also use 2M as well. 2M is a little bit slower, you know, than 2L, but it gives you a way bigger reward. So if you're doing something like this, you know, you can use 2M for the low and get major damage, as you can see there. So you can use either 2L or 2M. Doesn't really matter. If your opponent's not really good at blocking, you can use 2M. But, you know, if your opponent is really good at, you know, predicting you, then 2L is probably the better way because it's just faster. And you have more options. You know, you can do delay 2L, you can do 2L 2M, you know, you can anti-reflect with 5H. You have a lot more options than if you just start with 2M. So, you know, 2L or 2M, depending on pushback and whether or not you're in the corner. You know, results may vary, but the whole point is that you want to fake out an overhead into a low. That's the basic gist of it all. Okay, so finally we have After Image into Dragon Rush. So once again, the same concept. You want to do your Blockstring, go into Dragon Rush. Once again, you can do TK. Oops. So as you see there, you can do the TK version, and it still works out just as well. Once again, just like the low option, I'd probably recommend doing the regular version, mid-screen, and then maybe doing a TK version in the corner, just because it's a lot faster, and once again, you don't have to worry about pushback. So, you know, once again, results may vary. Just do whichever you feel is more consistent, but definitely for the overhead option, like I talked about before, you definitely want to use the TK version, because it's faster and more plus on block. Okay, now we're going on to the left-right section. So this one talks about left-right mix-ups. And so the basic premise is still the same block string, call assist afterwards, and then you do left-right. So the way you change directions with Krillin in this new version of the game is that if you do the regular version of After Image, you stay the same side, but if you hold down the circle button or the heavy button while pressing forward, you actually go through your opponent. So now you get to choose whether or not you stay the same side or go or cross your opponent up. So first off, the first option you have is just heavy after image. Stay the same side. Once again, you have access to TK for same side overhead, or you can just do regular overhead. But once again, I recommend doing the TK because it's faster and it's way more plus on block. Alright, so going on to the cross-up version, which is this guy right here. So this one also varies depending on pushback, or pushback. So for assist with a lot of pushback, you know, it's gonna be a lot harder to do this mix-up because once again, because of base Goku's pushback, Tien actually goes forward as Krillin is trying to go through him, so that mix-up kind of doesn't work. But if you use 16, the mix-up does work. So once again, results may vary depending on your assist. You know, results may vary. In the corner, once again, it doesn't really matter because they're in the corner, so it doesn't really matter. Now, when it comes to left-rights in the corner, this is where things get a little bit tricky. See, this game has something called cross-up protection, which basically means you cannot block, or basically you cannot get crossed up in terms of mix-ups in this game at the same time. So if I do this block string with base Goku, so if I do that block string with base Goku, when base Goku is called, whatever I do afterward on the other side is auto blocked by the game because the game has cross-up protection and you cannot get left-right or left-righted in this game, unlike in other fighting games. So what you want to do, at least for left-right mix-ups, you want to use block stuns with a little bit less block stun than normal. So your Trunks is Frieza B, maybe regular beam assist, because they have a decent amount of block stun, but not too much. Base Goku, Jiren A, TNB, like those high block stun assists aren't really good for this style of mix-up because of the cross-up protection. So I recommend beam assists, assists like Trunks A, Frieza B, Krillin A. Well, you can't use Krillin A, but you know, lower block stun assists for the left-rights because of cross-up protection. So keep that in mind when picking your assists and what mix-ups you want to do with Krillin. High block stun assists, I recommend using that for high-low. Low block stun assists, I recommend using that for left-right. Okay, so another option you can do for same side is something that we already talked about, is fake out into 2L. This is technically a same side mix-up here. So once again, this will not be affected by cross-up protection. So as you can see, it will not be affected by cross-up protection because Krillin is staying on the same side, and if you're using an assist, you know, you can still mix up your opponent. So that's still a same side option. And you know, just like with the high-low option, it's really good. Alright, so now I'm going to focus a little bit on the corner mix-ups here. So with access to the corner, Krillin gets a little bit more of a mix-up when it comes to his left-rights. So because Krillin can steal the corner in this game, unlike pretty much every character in the game, Krillin has a little bit more access to mix-ups. So if I have TN block here, Krillin can actually go across. He can actually steal the corner and go overhead instead of just doing fake out into low, which Krillin also has access to. So that's a left-right mix-up, and then you can go for an overhead. So, you know, in the corner you have a little bit more freedom when it comes to mix-ups. So I do recommend using this in the corner because you can really do some nasty stuff here. Alright, so the final part of this guide, I want to talk about Krillin's level 3 Oki specifically. So, once again, thanks to the update, you can now choose how Krillin goes through the opponent. So what that means is that if you guys have been on the channel, you know that a lot of my guides focuses around this level 3 in particular. So what that means is that because Krillin can choose whichever side he appears on, that makes his level 3 Oki way more threatening, as you can see here. The problem with Krillin's Oki in the previous version of the game is that his left-right mix-up was a little bit... I don't think it was weak, but it was very difficult to do, because when it comes to left-right mix-ups, the way you did the same side is, once again, you had to TK it. You had to TK after image, and because of level 3 having a lot of recovery, it gives you a lot of Oki time, but it gives you a lot of recovery before you can act. It was kind of hard to time whether or not to do the TK, but now you don't really have to time the TK. Now you can just do after image as soon as you recover, and you can tell a little bit when Krillin recovers because you can see a little bit of his model from the cloud. That's kind of a bad example because Krillin was a little bit out of the corner there. So let's try it here. You can tell a little bit by seeing Krillin. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a little hard to see, but if you wait, here's the thing. If you wait like 1 or 2 seconds, just wait 1 or 2 seconds after the first part of the cloud, then you can move as Krillin. That's kind of how I tell. I kind of look for Krillin's model depending on how I hit the level 3, but most of the time I just count 1, 2, and then I do after image. That's how I do it personally. You might have a different way of doing it, but that's how I do it. So once again, this mix-up is a lot better now because now you don't have to TK it. You can just do it as a normal input. You can do regular version for same side, and then if you hold circle or heavy with forward, you get the cross-up version. And when it comes to his normal level 3 Oki, As you can see, Krillin is plus 42. So what that means is that when you use his left-right mix-up, Krillin has 35 frames of recovery. So that means Krillin has access to both his lights and his mediums when it comes to his Oki. So if you're doing left-rights, so you can actually melee with a medium or a light attack. I'm starting to use medium a little bit more because of the amount of recovery you have on after image. You can pretty much perfectly time a medium, whereas when it comes to lights, it's a little bit harder because it's so much faster. So I would probably say using medium or 5M is probably the best way to go when it comes to left rights. You just do after image, you know. You know. Now, when it comes to higher up, level 3 Oki, so as you see with base Goku here, the timing is a lot different. So I'm plus 69 with Goku. Let's see, if I use 16, I'm plus 77. So when it comes to timing, with these types of mix-ups, it really just depends on your team. I can't really like have I don't really have like a definitive, if you're at this amount of Oki, this is how you time it, because all the characters are different, and it also depends on when you do it. Like, for example, you know, 16 is up here, and I got plus 77, but what if I do a combo with 16 and it ends like this? And it ends like this. And the Oki is dramatically different now. So I would say experiment with your team, just overall, and just try to figure out how you time it. I would definitely say that the higher up you go, the harder it is. I will say that. So probably try to stick to this range. You know, if you can like stay within this double jump range for your Oki, I would probably say that's the easiest way of timing your Oki. But like for instances like base Goku, where it's like for Goku, where he is literally pulling you all the way up towards the top of the screen, the timing can be a little bit difficult. So once again, I would recommend just practicing with your team and just trying to figure out the timing, and just try to explore all the different options. And just like with the regular level 3 Oki, you know, he has access to left to right with his clone, and pretty much like every other character in the game, he has access to super jump float, you know, IAD, super jump float low, super jump front low. So, you know, Krillin has access to the universal Oki, and then he has access to his after image Oki. So, you know, like I said, results may vary depending on your team, so kind of explore your options a bit when it comes to like Oki timing and stuff like that, but the concept is basically the same. You use your after image, you choose left or right, and then you press 5M or 5L to confirm the hit or begin pressure again. So that is the basis of the left-right. Alright then guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I haven't really done a guide like this in a long time, so I really hope I got my point across. I hope I wasn't rambling too much. I'm probably going to have to cut out a lot of stuff when it comes to this guide. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it nevertheless. I will be doing more guides in the future, so keep a lookout for that. If you have any suggestions, please comment any suggestions. If you want me to talk about any other part of Krillin's kit, or if you just want me to explore other characters in the roster, like if you want me to do a Tien guide or a 16, oh actually I did 16, a base Goku guide. If you want me to do a Roshi guide, you know, just let me know. I'm always up for some suggestions from you guys. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. please be sure to research your team and how you can use Krillin effectively. This is just a baseline, as you know, for how you can go about using the after image, but this isn't a definitive. This is how this works with this character, you know. Explore your team, explore the timing, and just, you know, have fun with it. So, with that being said, guys, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Sayonara.